Christmas is known as a Christian festival celebrated on 25th of December, marks the birth of the Christian Savior, Jesus of Nazareth. In Bible, Gospel of Matthew and Luke gives us a clear-cut idea about the birth of Jesus Christ in Bethlehem, that he was born to a virgin mother Mary and father named Joseph. On his birth, shepherds and wise men came to visit Jesus in the manger and brought several gifts for him. Usually, these are the stories we hear repeatedly in our childhood winter holidays in December. And years after Jesus, these events gave rise to a major celebration named Christmas. Christmas has been around for hundreds of years. Many still believe that its origins are based primarily around the birth of Jesus Christ and that they are celebrating his birth anniversary. This, however, is not true. The winter holidays surrounding the dates of Christmas has been around long before the birth of Jesus. To understand this, we need to look back into the history where everything began. The original name of the holiday that is celebrated on the 25th of December is the winter solstice. In short, the middle of winter. The middle of winter has been celebrated all around the world for a long time, even centuries before the arrival of Jesus Christ. Early Europeans celebrated the light and birth of light in the darkest days of winter. Many neighboring countries, societies, communities observed and kept this celebration before the origin of Christianity. Many civilizations rejoiced during the winter solstice. Depending upon the geographical diversity, the dates and traditions of the winter solstice, however, were different for each society. The main roots of the Christmas we know today comes from a merger of two or more celebrations of the winter solstice of different European cultures. Ancient people from the Nordic countries who followed the Norse mythical religion celebrated Yule, and the tradition followed and celebrated in Scandinavia. In Germany, on the other hand, people honored the pagan god Odin during the midwinter holidays. Similarly, in the ancient Rome, Saturnalia was a holiday in honor of Saturn, the Roman god of agriculture, observing it for a full month. These two holidays celebrated by the Norse and by the Romans in the ancient European culture are considered as pagan. Pagan, a term used in those days to call out a person who holds religious beliefs other than those of the main world religions. For pagans, it was a custom to celebrate the midwinter as the birth of sun deities. An array of sun gods who were born on 25th of December includes Mithra, Hercules, Dionysus, Themis, Frigga, and a lot of them. These pagan believers of early mythical religion considered the appearing of sun in midwinter solstice to be the victory of the strength of the sun and its light over darkness, and represented this natural phenomenon to be some sort of birth of sun god. Just imagine that you live in a region where midwinter brings striking darkness and cold and hunger. Then the urge to have a celebration at that very heart when the sun comes up is very strong, only to avoid getting mad or falling into deep depression. And this was the idea behind midwinter solstice celebration in the ancient Europe. Years later, Jesus, when Christians spread their religion into Europe in the first centuries, they ran into these regional religious creeds. Early Christians lumped all of these people together under the umbrella term pagan and wanted to convert them into Christianity. But they were also fascinated by their pagan traditions. Obviously something the Christians considered as bad, but it's also something they thought worth remembering because it's an ancestral tradition. Despite the spread of Christianity, midwinter festivals did not become Christmas for hundreds of years until the 4th century that the Catholic Church gradually came to embrace Christmas and turned the gathering of Christ's Mass into Christmas. Since the midwinter solstice celebrated as a huge feast and gathering at that time marked the birth of sun god was later changed into the birth of Son of God by the church itself. December 25th was first identified as the date of Jesus' birth by Sextus Julius Africanus in 221 AD and later became the universally accepted date. Little that anybody know, it was an act to Christianize the pagan festivals. Later in year 336 AD, under Roman Emperor Constantine, the first recorded date of Christmas was celebrated on December 25th and declared it as an official Roman state festival. But does Bible says anything about the birth rate of Jesus? Bible does talk about the birth of Jesus in Bethlehem and that he was raised in Nazareth, but does not give any context about the precise date of Jesus' birth date. Even the historical evidence is too incomplete to allow a definitive dating. But by working backwards from the estimation of the start of the ministry of Jesus, astrological or astronomical alignments, including the description of shepherds watching over their sheep, the day or season has been estimated by various methods, and it points to somewhere in mid-September instead of 25th of December. Even the birth of Jesus mentioned in the Bible is only to showcase the fulfillment of the Old Testament prophecies and to clarify that he is from the house of David, not to turn it into a celebration. Even the ancient Jewish traditions strictly prohibits celebrating the birthdays, considering it to be a pagan tradition to celebrate it so. Proves that the early patriarchs and apostles, being first converted Christians, followed the same Jewish customs and did not celebrate it there, neither Jesus' birthday. Instead, believed to take part in the communion and Lord's Supper to commemorate the death of Christ in remembrance of his work here on earth, to proclaim the Lord's death till he comes, an ordinance of hope that points to the future. But today's Christmas, which is considered to be a modern phenomenon, has turned into more of a commercial scam to make us spend money on overpriced useless goods, decorations, lights, trees, and cakes. However, at this time of year, families come together at Christmas even if they do not meet for the rest of the years. It probably helps that Christmas and New Year's celebrations have become institutionally intertwined. These make Christmas in essence a meaningful family celebration, and that's what makes modern winter holidays more beautiful. Some says put back Jesus in Christmas, some says Jesus is the reason for the season. But I would say the whole Christmas is a joke, and it doesn't have anything to do with Jesus' birthday as portrayed in the Bible. I know it's a sensitive topic, but the truth is still the truth. Even if no one believes it, a lie is still a lie, even if everyone believed it. Comment your thoughts down below and let us know.